Hello, Smithy here. Welcome to another video on my channel. I'm here with Josh from Made in Chelsea. Josh, how are you?
I'm splendid. How are you?
Good, mate. Now, people know you from Made in Chelsea, but what people don't know about you is that you're also a massive die-hard Liverpool fan.
That is true, and a renowned legend amongst the lads.
Okay, right. So, little idea we've had for a video. We're going to pick JP's Liverpool Premier League 11. Are you impressed with the setup here?
I am.
No expense spared.
I am. I like the modern football you've got going on there.
Nice. That is our 1930s Keepy Uppy challenge, which you can also see on my YouTube channel if you click in the playlist 1930s football. So thanks for that, Josh. Right, here's a pen. Here's how it's going to work. Very simply. Now, it's a bit tough, this one, because obviously everyone knows Liverpool's most successful era was pre-Premier League when you had the likes of Hansen, Kenny Dalglish. So they can't make your team because it's a Premier League 11. So you've got to pick the best players since the Premier League's inception. And what I like about this is you spent a lot of time deliberating about it.
I actually have some notes.
Brilliant.
I don't know if I'm allowed that. Mainly because I'm dyslexic and I want to spell the name right. But yeah, this is a tricky one because obviously you've got a massive generation of footballers that can't be used, and yet they've won 5 Champions League.
Yeah.
Well, 4 Champions Leagues.
Correct.
Correction. And then you're looking actually now at players that we have in the squad today, and you're thinking, although they haven't necessarily been with the team that long, I'm going to make a prediction that they are going to become legends.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
Which I know is going to be controversial because actually there's a lot of players that have been that you probably would have put in the squad.
What I love about Liverpool as well, we were thinking about this. I don't know your team, but Liverpool have got so many attacking players. It's just like now, but the defence is a lot harder to choose because the defence is easy to choose because you haven't been blessed with great defenders over the years, have you?
I think I had maybe 5 options.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Keeper. First up.
So keeper.
I think I know who you're going to pick. I hope I know who you're going to pick.
For me, there's only one choice.
Yeah. It's all right. Let's just reveal that to the camera. Who I thought, Pepe Reina. Better than Jersey. Obviously, Jersey Dudek was a Champions League winning goalkeeper.
He was. There's just something about Reina for me. Jen. There's something about Reina for me.
Background noise.
Yeah, there's something about Reina for me just in the squad. I personally feel like the team heavily miss him since the day he's left. I think it's a void that we still haven't filled yet.
Yeah.
And I would love to have someone like him back into the squad.
Yeah, I mean, you do need to keep him massively, don't you? Look at Mignolet's performance, especially the Arsenal game. And it just amazes me that Liverpool haven't invested in a keeper.
But the thing is, we got another goalkeeper in. Karius hasn't done a particularly great job. I think his confidence right now is not. I don't think there seems to be much consistency. I think it's kind of like, well, we'll play Champions League, we'll play Premiership.
Do you think that's the problem, that you don't have a number one? Because every other team in the Prem has a number one. There's a few clubs like West Ham who chop and change it with Adrian and Joe Hart, but Liverpool don't have a number one, do they?
Well, the thing is, I think with the lower clubs, they tend to swap the goalkeeper based on confidence.
Yeah.
With Liverpool, when you're looking to be getting top 4, I don't think that's acceptable, to be honest.
Okay.
If you're looking at the top 3, if you want to win the Premiership, you've got to have a number 1 goalkeeper, and you've got to have a world-class goalkeeper at that. Tottenham have, United have, Chelsea have.
Yeah.
Liverpool right now, I'm sure they're lovely fellas. We don't have it yet.
Yeah, it's not what you want, a lovely fella with goals.
Exactly.
You want a good goalie. Right, defence. Put down your defenders now.
Now,
so what formation are you playing here?
I'm going to go for a 4. I'm going to go for a 4-3-3.
Okay, I can see that because we've got a lot of attacking options.
Exactly.
Places,
so
strengths,
I want to
good
utilise
shout.
that. And to be honest with you, I think when I actually mention my front 3, it makes complete and utter sense.
Okay.
So my first option for my defence might be slightly controversial, but for me, he embodies the original footballer. He's got grit, determination.
You are talking about?
I'm talking about Mr. Carragher.
I don't think any Liverpool fans would argue with that.
Do you know what it is? He's die-hard Liverpool. I love watching him. I know he's probably got a record for the most own goals.
He did score a few. He scored a few own goals against Spurs, actually.
He did.
But also, he holds the record for playing the most Liverpool v Arsenal games of any player in history. I think he played in 30 Liverpool-Arsenal fixtures of the 51 in Premier League history. That's how long he's been around, and obviously all for Liverpool, one club man.
But
he's a legend, isn't he?
It shows his calibre.
Yeah.
I think that old school footballer, what they came from, I think if you compare them to what we have nowadays, they're made of a lot harder stuff. And I actually wish we had a couple more players like him, to be honest. I feel like Liverpool, although we're a great squad right now, I do miss having that identity within the squad of having the Gerrards and the Carragher's back into it. I think there's been a couple of players that have come up through the ranks. I think we've sold Rossiter. I thought he was going to be a big future star.
Did you?
Sold him to Celtic.
Yeah.
Flanagan.
Yeah.
You know,
Flanagan was playing in that season. He nearly won the league, didn't he?
Well, that's the thing, you know, and he unfortunately got injured. And I remember when he came back, it was, you know, everyone was up on their feet. It was so nice to have some homegrown talent back into the squad, and he is a quality player. But again, I just feel like the Premiership now is so competitive. Is he world class? I think he's definitely up there in the Premiership teams, but I don't know if he quite cuts the mustard with Liverpool.
Fair enough. Okay, Carragher's in.
So
put your two centre backs down here.
Yes.
I always like talking about partnerships when we're talking about centre backs.
So one of in fact, you know what? I think both of these are going to be controversial. I think you know.
Reveal it to the camera. Right, so if you just hold that there and talk through that. You've gone for Skirtle and Van Dijk. Let's talk about that. Record signing for a defender. Liverpool swooped very quickly in this window. Obviously, took a bit of time in the last window because you wanted him in the summer for whatever reason, didn't quite happen. 75 million is a lot of money, but I suppose looking at the way Liverpool are playing this season, you bite your hand off him, wouldn't you? Because you're so good going forward, but you desperately need a centre back.
Yeah, of course. I mean, do you know what? This sounds quite silly, but I picked him not because I necessarily think that he's going to be the best. I think it's actually, let's see if we can prove some people wrong.
Yeah.
You know, money seems to be talking in the Premiership right now. For him to be the most expensive defender of all time, I expect him to be the greatest Liverpool defender of all time.
Wow, that's a huge shout. Let us know in the comment section what you think. Will Virgil van Dijk be the greatest Liverpool centre-back of all time? Sorry, Premier League.
Premier League. Yeah, I mean,
the
thing is, you know, he's come into this squad, and I have high hopes for him. You know, there's been a lot of talk about him from pundits, from players, from coaches. I'd love to see this guy come in and make an impact, because I honestly believe with the front players that we have right now, with a good defence, I honestly think we could win the league. Champions League we'll get to at some stage.
I think that though. I think Liverpool are so exciting to watch. If you sorted out your back line, you've got to be Premier League contenders. I mean, not this year, of course, but if you're a goalkeeper and two centre backs short for me of having a title challenging team. That's your 3 out of your 4. Who are you going for?
Skirtle, I've gone for again. I just feel like he's got, you know, he was in that era with Carragher. He's just got that hardened mentality, and I just miss that. I think our back 4 right now just a little bit soft. We're conceding too many easy goals. He wasn't a nice player to play against.
You wouldn't mess with him, would you?
You wouldn't mess with him. Is he world class? No. Did he do a job for Liverpool? Absolutely. So for me, you know, I think these two could be a great partnership.
Left back.
So
I was getting on a bit now, but I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Right.
Left back.
So left back, we were sad to lose him. I've gone for Mascherano.
As a left, okay, interesting. He played more in the central roles for Liverpool, but you're thinking, I'm guessing you're thinking here is that you've got other players you want to play in the central role.
Unfortunately, I didn't have a great choice for left back. And basically he's a quality player, so again, it's quite controversial. I don't know if many people would have put him in there, but if someone could pick a better left back than him, let me know.
Fair point. Because that jumps out at me because he's not a left back, but I know
you've got Risa, I mean, who else could you put in there?
Risa's a good shout, yeah, but you're thinking because of his versatility and the other players you've got to come, he can play anywhere.
I just think in this experience as well, I mean, genuinely, I know people are probably thinking there are better choices, but if you can name on the spot to me a better left back for Liverpool than
on the spot, name Liverpool a better left back right now in the comment section. Let's see what you come up with.
Please, because for me, I've just gone with quality right now. It might not be his chosen position, but I had to put him in the squad. Okay,
so now you're going with, you've got a 4-3-3.
Yes.
So let's put down your 3 in the middle.
So, in the central.
And while you're writing that, I'll just recap. You've got Reina in goal. Back line of Carragher, Skirtle, Van Dijk and Mascherano. Your next name, I don't think anyone, Liverpool or otherwise, will argue with that. And he's also your captain.
Yeah.
It's an obvious one, that, isn't it?
This is an obvious one. This man embodies everything that this club is about. He is the heart and soul of it. He's loved by anybody who's affiliated with the club. I think what he did for our team was remarkable. I was personally pretty gutted at the end of his career. I would have loved to have won the Premiership, but that's just how it is.
Do you think he's the greatest player never to have won the Premier League?
I think he deserved to win it.
Yeah.
I really do. I just think a man of his quality and what he did with that team to captain a side at such a young age with such big personalities in the squad, I think speaks volumes for him as a player.
Steven Gerrard is mine, incidentally. I'm a Spurs fan. He's my favourite non-Spurs player in Premier League history. Just for, like you said, the fact that he was a one-club man. But also, I think that when the argument is Scholes, Lampard and Gerrard, it's a very hard argument to have because they're all world-class players. The argument I have for Gerrard is that I think he did it the harder way of the three. Lampard played in a world-class Chelsea team. There's players Scholes had around at Man United. The team that Liverpool won the Champions League with, Gerrard was monumental in that and winning them. And I just think, and his England captaincy, I just think that for me pips him over the other two.
I think it's presence. I think squads nowadays need presence, and I feel like when he stepped onto that field, whether he was fully fit or not, he brought it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I feel like a lot of teams are missing that right now, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, for me,
okay,
Gerrard.
Right in the middle,
yeah,
in his best position, captain. Who are the two other midfielders you've gone with then?
So
I love how serious he's taking this. There's no
I am.
well.
You don't mess around with passion.
So recap: Reina in goal, Carragher, Skirtle, Van Dijk, Mascherano. Okay, Gerrard. I mean, these are all. Yeah, you've gone with Coutinho.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you doubt me?
No, I don't. I love Philippe Coutinho.
I just think it's a little bit like Suarez with Liverpool. I feel like what he was doing with them as a club was monumental, and I think for him to have won a Premiership title with Liverpool, I think is what will leave him his legacy rather than going to Barcelona.
It's interesting that. It's a very good point that you make. But then Suarez will argue that he went there, won the treble straight away, and players' careers now are so short that often they go there to chase immediate success, don't they?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the treble's important, but at the same time, you know, with the greatest respect to the Spanish league, you've got maybe 3-4 top clubs. The rest, I kind of nor here nor there. Whereas with the Premiership, you can argue now and say actually there are 7 teams potentially who can win the league, and for him to essentially single-handedly, again with Sturridge, I would say, do what they did, it was remarkable, and I think it was a shame he left when he did. And I think when you've got the likes of Mane and you've got Salah coming in, I think we'll be okay. I think it would just be a shame. I think it's something that our team and our players will always look on and go, if we'd have just stuck around for just 1 or 2 more seasons, could we have done more? But you know, respect to him, he has his own career. I don't think many people are particularly happy about it. But I wish all the best.
Wish him all the best. Right, who's your other midfielder?
So
interesting names. I'm just thinking of the names you've left out in the back line. Obviously, Sami Hyypiä. No place for Sami Hyypiä at the back.
Yeah, I mean,
interesting to see who your next name is as well, because great shout. Great shout. Cannot argue with that man.
For me, Alonso. Again, I think he's a part of history with this club. I think he was remarkable, and again, a bit like Mascherano, I was pretty gutted to see him go, but you can understand when those big clubs come knocking, they're going to take their opportunity.
His range of passing, unbelievable, isn't it?
He was just a remarkable player, and again, I just feel like it's a position since he's left. I think we've had some great midfielders, but I just feel like that talent, you know, again, it's a void that hasn't quite been filled. Has he been good since he left Liverpool? He did pretty well.
Yeah, he's done right, isn't he?
He did pretty well, to be fair. You can't argue with it. We went to Bayern Munich, didn't he?
Real Madrid, then Bayern Munich. Yeah, retired from Bayern Munich.
I honestly, there was an element of me that really wanted him to come back. I think there was a small shot. I think when it was at the end of Bayern Munich,
there was, wasn't it? Obviously, he went to Madrid, and then when he went to Munich, there was small talk that Liverpool were interested in re-signing him, but. Like you said about legacy, I think he left, you know, winning the Champions League with Liverpool. Would he have done much?
But that's the thing.
Time?
I think
that's heart versus head, isn't it? You'd have loved to see him in a Liverpool shirt again.
Exactly. I think it's one of those things. It's a little bit like when Robbie Fowler came back. You know, it was amazing, and I think it's a little bit like Alonso, just having that player come back. Even if he's crap, just to have him in that jersey again, you know, you can just hug and embrace him. Great. That's my middle 3.
Now I'm intrigued for this because I'm just going to chuck some names that you could have off the top of my head. You've got Owen.
Yes.
You've got Robbie Fowler, the man nicknamed as God by Liverpool fans. You've got Suarez. You know, many people at his time at Liverpool argued that he was possibly the best in the world. They're up there with Messi and Ronaldo. You've got Torres. There's a lot to choose from here.
There is.
Heskey.
So I'm going to start off with another controversial name.
Okay.
Now, this gentleman has only played, well, in fact, he's not even played his first full season for the club. I'm going to go with Salah.
Bold statement!
Now,
you're going with Mo Salah in your greatest ever team.
I am, and do you know what? Again, I just feel like this guy has got, and I hope he has got, an unbelievable future, not just with Liverpool, but for himself. I just feel like any player to come into any Premiership team and score 22 goals plus, I think is remarkable, and I hope that this isn't a one-season wonder. I hope that he's going to continue his form.
Yeah, I mean, no one can argue he's world class. But right, put his name down then.
Yes.
So you're going with him there.
Do you know what? And what I love about Salah, he kind of reminds me a little bit about Suarez. Some of the goals that he's been scoring, he makes the magic come
Yeah.
from nowhere. And I think the only other player that really did that at the time was Suarez, and the fact that he was scoring goals that just weren't even possible. So
Yeah.
for me, I feel like we have that flair back in that pace. So yeah.
I like the fact you're going with a lot of cut. You've gone Coutinho and Salah, which is. I mean, saying that, they are two of your greatest players in Premier League history. I think it's just that, particularly Salah, who's only been there half a season, so that's probably why it jumps out.
Do you know what it is? If you were to say to me right now, pick your first 11, I know you're saying the greats
Yeah.
of all time, but if I was to go and pay money for a ticket and watch my favourite 11,
Oh, nice.
this 11 here, I mean, that is going to be an unbelievable match
Yeah,
against any team.
Okay, put your next two in, and then we'll reveal it to the board.
So this man here, for me,
Oh, okay.
I absolutely loved him as a player. I think he was remarkable. I'm a bit saddened by
Just reveal that to the
yeah.
camera.
So basically, I've gone with Torres. I've gone with Torres in the middle. For me, when he was at Liverpool, you know, he is one of the greats. That guy was scoring goals like they were going out of fashion. He was remarkable. As I was saying, I was a little bit saddened by, I would say, the demise of his career. You know, he was unbelievable for Liverpool. Went for a big price tag to Chelsea, and nothing really came of it.
He's weird though, 'cause he did win a lot at Chelsea that year, and he won with Spain and Chelsea. But I know what you mean statistically.
But individually,
he wasn't what he was at Liverpool.
Didn't make a great impact. Made a few mistakes. There was a couple goals that he should have scored that he hadn't. He then went back to Atletico. I don't think he's had a remarkable season.
No,
since then
I
either.
still think he was at his best at Liverpool, and it's interesting actually. When I had my season ticket at Spurs at White Hart Lane, obviously at Wembley now, but when I was at Spurs, I remember I went to every home game that season. I remember walking out of Tottenham Liverpool and saying to my mate, I think that is the greatest individual performance I'd ever witnessed for Fernando Torres. He was just unbelievable
I think there was
playing for
one
Liverpool.
game that he played against Chelsea, and I think he scored 2 or 3 goals, and it was just the goals again that he was scoring was just incredible.
Yeah.
And he was an individual. You know, I don't think he was the greatest at sharing the ball, but I think in terms of scoring the goals, he was one of those guys. Every time he touched the ball, you knew there'd be a goal.
And the crowd would light up as well when it was
Oh,
as well.
unbelievable.
I remember at that game as well, looking at the away end, and it was almost like, because he used to go on these surging runs, didn't he? And it was like you could see the crowd rising as he carried the ball forward. He had such an impact for that Liverpool team.
Yeah.
But a lot of Liverpool fans dislike him because he went to Chelsea from Liverpool. So interesting that you've gone with ability over
Massively so.
what you feel about the individual.
Do you know what? If this guy's scoring goals, I don't think many Liverpool fans are going to have an issue with it.
No,
I think you forget it in time. If you could have this man back in your squad right now, in the form that he was
in his prime.
I don't think there'd be an issue.
Right, Josh,
So-
your last name. Now this is crucial because Owen, Fowler, Suarez, 2 of them aren't in your team.
Yeah.
So who are you going with?
If I'm being honest with you, I think when you got the likes of Owen and that, I think they're remarkable players, and I think they arguably could be in anybody's top 11. But for me, there was one name above them all, who is one of the most controversial players in football history. But do you know what? He scores a goal. I've gone with
Vladimir Smicha. Wow.
Andy Carroll.
Yeah. Who is
No,
it?
I've gone with the one and
Yeah,
only
see,
Suarez.
This is where it's hard because I know that a lot of people in the comment section will jump at you for saying where's Fowler, where's Owen, but you can't argue with Luis Suarez and Torres because they're both brilliant players. This is how hard it is, and I'm going to be picking my all-time Spurs Premier League 11 soon. And I know that I'm going to have similar issues going forward because Defoe, Kane, Sheringham.
Do you know what I
Do you know what I mean?
think
There's so many.
You're right, people will argue and go, well, why is Owen not in there? Why is Fowler not in there? Those are phenomenal players, I'm not disputing that, but for me, you stick these 3, they're basically the equivalent of what Barcelona have got in their front 3. I mean, that is. I mean, I would pay any amount of money to watch these 3 guys. I mean, the
Any
goals,
amount?
Well, maybe not any amount. My missus would probably kill me, but I got nappies to buy. No, I'd say these 3 here, I mean, the amount of goals that they would amount to would just be remarkable. Suarez, I actually had the pleasure of watching, and we were against Norwich,
Right.
near my hometown, and just watching that guy on the ball. Do you know what? He was basically your get out of jail card.
Yeah.
Every time you were in trouble, whether this guy again was fully fit.
Oh, you were at the famous Norwich game when he scored from absolutely miles out.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it was for me. I was in the Norwich stand, which wasn't great, so celebrating was quite minimal.
No offence to anyone watching from Norwich.
Yes, yeah. I am from Norfolk, so don't worry. I'm semi-supporter. No, I'm not really actually. You're rubbish. No, I don't want to offend any Norwich fans. Suarez, though, I mean, he was just. Is he the greatest Liverpool player? I know Dalglish would argue.
I mean, I think
Premiership.
Liverpool fans like yourself Hart would say that Dalglish would say, and Rush would say Robbie
Gerrard.
Fowler. But in terms of, I know what you mean, in terms of technical ability, he's got to be one of the greatest technical players you've ever had. He's gone on to Barcelona and he's won everything.
You know, you just experience those moments in football in your life and you're speechless.
Yeah.
Like, he was that guy. He would score goals and you'd literally be looking at your mate for 5-10 minutes going, how?
Gareth Bale was like that for Spurs in the same season, actually, just carrying the team.
They just, you know what, these guys, I don't think you're ever going to get another Suarez. I think that there are going to be plenty of amazing players, but I was so saddened when this guy left. But, you know, again, it was just his journey. He wanted to move on.
Right, so that is your team. Captain Stephen Gerrard, super sub. I'm just going to chuck this out now. If you had one player, is Owen the one you'd chuck in? Fowler? If you had one super sub?
Oh, you put me on the spot here. Who would I put on? Oh God, that's tricky.
He's really thinking about it, isn't it? Just, you know, it's a sub.
Do you know what? Owen's ability is amazing, but just in terms of character, what he'd bring on, you've got to go with Fowler, haven't you?
Fowler, okay, so Fowler is the super sub. Josh, thank you very much, mate. He's writing it in, Fowler, super sub. That is your team. Let us know what you think of Josh's team in the comments section below, any that he left out, and also give us some suggestions on who you'd like to see on this strand as well. Top man, mate, thanks for your time.
Nice one.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There's a button somewhere about here. Click subscribe, like the video. We'll see you very soon. See you later.